Good afternoon, Year 5. This is session 2 of our drawing scheme. Thank you so much for last week's work. It was absolutely brilliant, and it's so hard, the work that you were doing, and you did absolutely brilliantly with it. So thank you very much again. This week, our drawing is going to take on the themes that we worked on last week, which is taking a line and adding to it. And we're going to try and keep those lines parallel today, and we're going to do it in so that we're forming an outline and building and building and building on that outline. So our warm-up session will include that. Then I'll show you the work that we're going to try and replicate or reproduce or copy this afternoon, which is work by Hundertwasser. And when you see it, you'll probably recognize some of his other work that we have made copies of and are on display around school. So you'll see all of the things that we want you to work with this afternoon. So without further ado, I'll show you how to do our warm-up for this afternoon. The warm-up this afternoon is going to be quite simple and straightforward, but we're going to, instead of working from the middle, we're going to work from the outside. So I'm going to start off drawing a shape, pretty rectangular, and now I want to come inside of that shape. So instead of it being an outline, it's an inline. I'm going to try and keep that as close as I can to the outer line. I've got a bit of a wobble there, it doesn't matter. So I'm trying to start off at the same place each time. And all I'm going to do is to work my way around. That's better. And I'm working from the outside in. Because none of these lines are being drawn with a ruler, it doesn't really matter that they're not exact. It's going to give us an overall piece of practice. And again, I'm rushing this a bit because I don't want you to spend too long watching me do this, which is fairly straightforward. So you start off from the outside and move in until you've got a space like so. And that's all we're going to do this afternoon for our warm-up activity, because I'm going to show you the next thing I'll show you is going to be the work that we're copying this afternoon. So have a go at that. This is the image that we're going to have a go at copying this afternoon. It's got all of the classic Hundertwasser style about it. It's got lovely sets of lines that are curved and that are parallel to each other. So you can see all of this, which is the fields and the sky and the sun, the lines just like we've practiced in our warm-up. They're all lines that are parallel and run fairly close to each other. We've got a strange thing that Hundertwasser tends to do. The orange down at the bottom here is actually a road, and it's being looked on as if you were looking on a bird's eye view, whereas the houses standing next to the road are looking straight out at you as a normal landscape would be. He's got his famous lollipop trees, which are scattered around, and lots of colourful buildings here. So we've got the road at the bottom with fields, and if you've ever seen ploughed fields from the sky with a drone camera, then you'll know what we're talking about. And we've got the houses here that go up the hillside, and these are houses that he actually designed, or sort of houses that he designed. So we'll start off by, I'll just come back out again so you can see the full image that we're going to do, and I will make sure that the teachers have an image that you'll be able to copy. So This is a copy I've done, excuse me, of the Hundavasa work that I just showed you. You're probably seeing it upside down. So, oh no, you're seeing it right. So we've got down here the road system, and then we've got the landscape, the grassed area, we've got the sky, and then a bit of a sunsetty thing coming in here, and the sun, which is square in Hundavasa's world. So you can see it's got the trees, it's got the houses, it's got the lines that follow the same pattern from top to bottom. And I'll show you what we need to do that. We need, in our sketchbooks, to find the next free space you've got. So I'm going to take this page here, and I'm going to do it, and I'll turn it around each time to show you what I'm doing. Now the first line is going to be the most important, because that's going to give us our guidelines to carry on up through. So it starts and it curves down, comes across, and then curves back up again. So we've done a sort of an elongated smiley face there at the bottom of our page. Now the next thing we need to do, because this is Hundavasa, these are the roads that are coming through, so it looks almost like it's a bridge shape. That goes like so. It's got another little bridge shape like so. So it looks like we've got a bridge shape, but in fact these are the roads looking down on them. So those will be the road systems. Now we've done that. That's the most excuse me, difficult parts that we need to do. The next thing we need to do is to follow through. I'll turn it upside down to make it easier for me. I'm just going to do those lines. I'm leaving a little space because I've got to fit houses and other things in. So I'm just carrying on doing that. Now when I get to about here, I'm going to put the sun in the sky. So I'm going to come fairly much to the top of the page, and it's on a slight angle. And Hundavasa being Hundavasa, it's a rectangle rather than a circle. So now I've got that, I know that the sun is going to be in the sky, so the end of the sky is going to come before we get to the sun. So I can just carry on doing these lines. Don't forget we've got to fit in some buildings within these lines, so don't make them too close together. Now I'm getting fairly close now to where my sky is beginning to appear. So I'm just going to mark where that sky comes by doing two lines very, very close together. Because in a moment you'll see what we're going to be doing. So I'm just going to make those lines close together. And now I'm going to carry on with those lines. But I'm not going to take it through the sun. Those lines are going to go behind the sun. So that's all we need to do for that part of the activity. So I'll show you now, but this might be a good time to pause so everyone could get to that stage there. And I'm going to show you now another little technique which is quite fun. Oops, I just dropped my crayon that I needed. So I'm going to take a yellow crayon, and down at the bottom those fields have a yellowy colour, so I'm just going to, it sounds a bit funny, but I'm going to take that and I'm going to sharpen it over the bottom of the piece of paper. And then what I've got to do, I've got to try and get the pieces of wood away, and that just leaves me with the yellow sharpenings, which you can see here. I'm going to do my famous rubbing with those yellow sharpenings, and I've still got enough on my finger to do some of those smaller ones. So I'll just show you that again. Yellow. I'm going to try and get rid of the wood, and then I'm going to rub that in to that corner, and just another little bit of yellow onto that corner. Rub that in there. It's slightly messy. It gives a really nice. Now, this area here is going to be the green, so I'm going to sharpen quite a lot of my crayon to go around this area. So I'm sharpening. I'm taking away those bits of wood from the pencil because they're not going to do us any good. But I'm going to move gently to start off with. I'm just going to move that gently, and then as it's spread out, I'm really going to start rubbing that into the paper. So you can see, if I show you that to the camera a little bit more clearly, you can see that that's got the yellow at the bottom and the green in the middle. And then I've got to be a bit careful with this one because I'm going to do the blue here. So I'm going to put blue across there and some more sharpenings here. Get rid of the wood, and then I'm going to try and miss out the sun because that's got a slightly different colour to it. It's got a redishy orangey colour. So now I've got my background for those three things. I've got the blue for the sky, I've got the green for the grass, and I've got the yellow for underneath. And now with my crayon I can start adding some of the extra pieces that I need. So I'm going to find an orange there. I'm going to actually, just very quickly for you, I'm going to fill in the sun. You can take more time than me because again I don't really want to keep you waiting for too long. And with the sun I'm going to do an orange. Put the orange sharpenings through here. My sharpener's starting to get fed up. And there's the orange there. If you want to, you can add to that by crayoning in a darker orange, because we're pressing harder. It's giving us a different feel to it. So I'll just get rid of that wood for you, and I'll show you how the sun's beginning to take its shape. And down here, the roadway is an orange, so I'm just going to colour that roadway in. And then when I come back to you this afternoon, hopefully when I see you on Zoom, you'd have got to this stage, which is the basic stage, and then I'll show you this afternoon how we're going to add the houses and the details and everything else that needs. In fact, I'll just show you this here. We've got some shapes here that are going to look like the fields. So if you can get to that stage, by the time I see you on Zoom, you'll be doing extremely well. And then don't forget, once we've done that, you'll need to give yourself a bit of a clear up and sweep up as best you can all the bits of sharpenings. So I'll catch you later on the Zoom call. Have fun.